Can you believe that just a common white powder, usually sitting quietly in the kitchen cabinet to deodorize or bake, can help men over 60 improve blood circulation, increase erectile function, and even regain that sense of masculine confidence thought to be fading? That is baking soda, a seemingly simple ingredient, but one that holds many potentials for supporting the sexual health of older men. At first glance, it may sound unbelievable, but many modern medical studies, along with real-life clinical experience, have shown that when used correctly, baking soda can help improve blood vessel function, reduce endothelial inflammation, and support the body's production of nitric oxide, an essential compound for blood vessel dilation and the erection mechanism. Not only that, baking soda can also support the sensitivity of male hormone receptors, helping your body respond better to the testosterone already present, rather than relying entirely on medication or hormone replacement therapy. I'm Dr. Samuel Grant, a specialist in men's health for middle-aged and elderly men. In this video, I will walk with you through 10 interesting and lesser-known scientific benefits of baking soda, a natural, accessible solution that brings comprehensive support for male sexual health after 60. And don't take your eyes off the screen just yet, because right in the first benefit, I'll be sharing how baking soda can intervene in a quiet but very common mechanism. That is mild blood acidification, which silently causes blood vessels to constrict and hinders the flow of blood to the sensitive area, something most men have no idea about until their performance visibly declines. But before we get into the main content, allow me to get to know you a bit. Where are you watching this video from? I always feel happy knowing I'm accompanying experienced men from all around the world. Leave a comment below and let me know. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more practical science-based content that suits your age group in upcoming videos. Now let's move on to the first benefit, the foundation of the entire recovery process for male circulation in later years. How baking soda helps balance blood pH levels and why this can create a significant shift in your daily life. Benefit 1: regulates blood pH, opening the path for blood to flow to male sexual organs. Many men over 60 don't realize that just a small imbalance in blood pH can negatively affect circulation, especially to the genital area. This is a silent issue, painless, yet it directly affects erectile quality over time. I once met Mr. Jack, 69 years old, a retired man calm but full of unspoken worries. In our first consultation, he hesitantly said, "I'm still trying, but it feels like my body just doesn't want to cooperate anymore." Although his basic health markers like blood pressure and heart rate were within safe ranges, more in-depth testing revealed something often overlooked. His blood environment leaned toward being acidic. This can cause blood vessels to silently contract, making blood flow to sensitive areas significantly weaker. Think of blood vessels like water pipes. When your blood is a bit more acidic than ideal, the vessels tend to tighten like a hose that's been bent. The flow doesn't completely stop, but it surely isn't strong enough to nourish the tissues responsible for sexual function. This is where baking soda can come into play. Thanks to its mild alkaline nature, baking soda can help regulate blood pH, creating a smoother circulatory environment. When used properly, typically in the morning on an empty stomach with warm water, it helps relax vessel walls, allowing blood to flow more effectively to erectile tissues. After about 3 weeks of consistently following this habit, Mr. Jack returned to the clinic looking noticeably brighter. He shared, "My body is starting to respond positively again. I no longer feel so heavy, and it seems like everything is slowly waking up." Balancing blood pH doesn't just help improve blood flow to the genital organs. It also supports other vital processes such as oxygen delivery, autonomic nervous system function, and hormone stability. However, acidification is only one factor that disrupts blood flow. There's an even more silent but widespread danger: chronic endothelial inflammation. And the interesting part is, baking soda can also help intervene in this inflammation mechanism if used properly. In the next section, I'll show you how baking soda can help rescue your vessel walls from chronic inflammation, a hidden form of damage that can gradually weaken your sexual circulation day by day. Benefit 2: reduces blood vessel inflammation, rebuilding sexual circulation from the root. When men reach their 60s, many believe the main reason for declining sexual function is a hormone deficiency. But in reality, silent chronic blood vessel inflammation is an even more formidable culprit. I often compare it to a silent gnawer. It doesn't cause pain, doesn't leave clear signs, but over time it stiffens the endothelial lining of blood vessels, making them lose their ability to dilate and unable to produce sufficient nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for triggering blood flow to the penis. I once treated Mr. Liam, 71 years old, a former soldier who still appeared fit on the outside, but he shared something I'll never forget. I still have feelings, I still love my wife, but it's like my body doesn't listen to me anymore. After ruling out diabetes and high cholesterol, we discovered his CRP inflammation marker was elevated, indicating a low-grade chronic inflammation damaging his vascular system from within. At that point, I suggested a simple but effective therapy: drinking baking soda mixed with filtered water each morning, combined with a light 15-minute walk. Amazingly, after about 4 weeks, he came back and said, "It feels like something inside me just got unclogged. The internal flow feels lighter, smoother." This aligns with what modern medicine has recorded. Sodium bicarbonate in baking soda can help regulate inflammation through immune modulation, particularly in the kidneys and spleen. Once inflammation is under control, blood vessels can recover, and nitric oxide can be naturally regenerated, making erections easier and less effortful. But controlling inflammation is just the beginning. To trigger the sexual response, your body also needs a biological switch called nitric oxide. Without it, even if blood vessels are open, the signal still can't reach its destination in time. So in the next part, I'll help you discover why nitric oxide plays a central role in sexual reflexes, and how baking soda can indirectly help your body produce more of it safely and naturally. Benefit 3. Naturally increases nitric oxide, activating sexual signals at the right time. Nitric oxide, or NO, is the push of a button that kickstarts the entire male sexual process. It's the signaling molecule that tells blood vessels to dilate, smooth muscles to relax, and blood to rush to the genital area at just the right moment. Without it, a man may feel desire, but his body won't respond. I once had a patient named Noah, 66 years old. He was still in good health, ate and slept well, had a positive mindset. But he told me something that really struck a chord. "I want intimacy, but it feels like something isn't turning on, like a switch that's been cut off." Many people face the same situation, and the cause often isn't psychological or testosterone related, but rather a lack or dysfunction of nitric oxide. Baking soda isn't a direct source of nitric oxide, but it helps reset the biological environment needed to produce it. When blood is acidified, a common condition in older adults, NO breaks down faster. Baking soda's mild alkalinity helps rebalance pH, protect the endothelium, and extend the lifespan of NO in the bloodstream. In some studies on athletes, supplementing with baking soda before competitions helped improve vascular endurance and muscle reflexes, thanks to this very mechanism of boosting NO efficiency. And if you think a romantic session doesn't require quick reflexes like sports, just remember: an erection is a reaction that demands speed, precision, and seamless coordination between the cardiovascular and nervous systems. With Noah, I advised him to drink warm water mixed with baking soda and a few drops of lemon juice each morning, combined with a short deep breathing routine. In less than a month, he returned with a sparkle in his eyes. "I don't just feel the signal coming back, it feels stronger, like my body is ready to tune in again." Nitric oxide is like the spark that ignites the fire. But whether that flame burns long depends on whether oxygen is effectively delivered to the target tissue. And that will be the focus of the next section: the essential role of oxygen in erection, and why baking soda helps optimize oxygen transport better than ever before. My friend, if you're still watching the video up to this point, thank you for staying with me this far. I truly appreciate it. Drop a number 3 in the comments below so I'll know I'm not speaking alone. Benefit 4. Improves oxygen transport efficiency, rekindling sensitivity and natural endurance. When it comes to male sexual health, most people immediately think of testosterone or blood flow. But there's another equally essential factor often overlooked: oxygen. Not just oxygen in the blood in general, but whether it reaches the genital tissues at the right place and right time. I still vividly remember Mr. Max, 72 years old, a former firefighter. He carried himself with strength, but there was visible fatigue in his eyes. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like down there has lost all its life. It doesn't respond quickly like before, and there's barely any sensation left." We ran general tests, Blood pressure was stable, blood sugar under control. But one thing stood out, his blood oxygen saturation level was below the ideal range. This is a common sign in older adults, especially if the body has been in a prolonged acidic state or undergoing chronic low-grade inflammation. In such cases, red blood cells, which act like oxygen delivery trucks, can't drop off their cargo at the right destination. This leaves the erectile tissue malnourished, reducing sensitivity and erection duration. I instructed Mr. Max to take half a teaspoon of baking soda mixed with warm water every morning, around 20 minutes before breakfast. The goal was to gradually shift his blood environment toward a mildly alkaline state, an ideal condition for increasing oxygen release from red blood cells to target tissues. About 3 weeks later, he returned to the clinic with a soft smile and said, "I feel everything warming up again, not from the weather outside, but from inside." That warming up sensation was a sign that oxygen had finally reached the right place. When the genital tissues receive adequate oxygen, sensitivity is restored, blood vessels become more flexible, and sexual responses feel more natural and sustainable. However, my friend, oxygen is just the fuel. To sustain an erection for a meaningful duration, your body also needs internal energy from within the cells, especially the smooth muscle cells. And that's what I'll share with you in the next part, how baking soda helps the body's tiny power plants function better so you can maintain performance during those intimate moments. Benefit 5 enhances smooth muscle cell energy, prolonging erection strength naturally. Not many people realize that inside the penis lies a network of smooth muscle tissue that acts like valves to hold blood in. When blood is pumped in through vessel dilation, it's these smooth muscles that must maintain pressure, otherwise the blood leaks out and the erection can't be sustained. I'm reminded of Mr. John, 68 years old, a retired car mechanic with a witty personality. But his eyes dimmed when he shared, "I can get started, but midway it feels like I run out of steam. Like my body doesn't have the power to keep going." I explained to him that each smooth muscle cell contains its own internal power station, the mitochondria. When these mitochondria function efficiently, they generate enough energy for the muscles to contract and trap blood inside, helping to maintain a firm erection. But with age, along with oxidative stress and prolonged acidity, mitochondria begin to weaken. At this point, baking soda isn't a stimulant, it's a foundation repair tool. It helps reduce lactic acid buildup, a major cause of muscle fatigue and weakness, and creates an ideal environment for mitochondria to recharge more effectively. I advised Mr. John to use baking soda 3 times a week, paired with some morning stretches and gentle breathing exercises. After just about a month, he came back, waving happily. "Doc, this old engine of mine feels like it just got serviced. No more sputtering, it's running smoother now." This shows that when internal energy is restored, the body not only finds it easier to become erect, but can also maintain that state longer and more reliably, without force, without rush. However, if your body doesn't understand the signal from testosterone, in other words, if hormone receptors aren't responding well, then even if your hormone levels are decent, you may still not get the results you want. In the next part, I'll explain why baking soda doesn't directly increase testosterone, but it helps make hormone receptors more sensitive, improving how your body responds to the testosterone you already have. This is a crucial step that many men often overlook. Benefit 6 helps the body become more sensitive to testosterone when hormones are no longer invisible. One thing that confuses many men is when they go in for a checkup, and the test results show that their testosterone levels are within the normal range. But in reality, they no longer feel the excitement, energy, or connection they once had. I once met Mr. Bryan, 64 years old, a former police officer with a solid physique and a firm stride. And yet his eyes revealed worry when he asked, "Doctor, I have testosterone, so why does it feel like my body's shut down?" This condition is known in medicine as hormone receptor desensitization, meaning the body has the hormone but can no longer hear its signal. And one of the silent culprits behind this issue is prolonged acidity or chronic inflammation. In such cases, the hormone receptors, which act like antennas for picking up testosterone signals, become sluggish and lose connection with the body's physiological control system. Baking soda does not directly increase testosterone, but it helps improve the internal cellular environment, thereby restoring the receptor's responsiveness to the hormone. When blood pH and endothelial conditions stabilize toward a mildly alkaline level, cells become smarter at receiving biological signals, including those from male sex hormones. Mr. Brian started with a simple habit, taking half a teaspoon of baking soda mixed with warm water a few mornings each week, combined with light walking and some mild resistance exercises. Nearly 6 weeks later, he came back with a very different expression. It's not just about that anymore, doctor. I feel interested in life again, like someone just turned me back on. That story made me realize sometimes the problem isn't low testosterone, it's that the body has lost sensitivity to what it already has. But even if your body has learned to listen to hormones again, the journey of recovery doesn't stop there. Because hormones are like a conductor, and for the orchestra to play well, the supporting systems like the liver and kidneys must function smoothly. And that's what I want to continue sharing with you in the next part. Benefit 7. Cools the liver, eases the kidneys, paving the way for natural sexual restoration. After 60, many men fall into a state of low-grade fatigue, reduced vitality, and constant sluggishness without a clear reason. There's no pain, no major illness, just an invisible burden they carry within. I remember Mr. Kevin, 70 years old, a retired accountant, lived a disciplined lifestyle and ate healthily. He sat across from me and sighed. I feel like something inside just isn't flowing. I'm not sick, but everything feels heavy and slow. Tests showed that his liver and kidney functions were slightly above the normal threshold. Not at a critical level, but enough to slow down the body's natural detox system. And when the liver and kidneys aren't working efficiently, the entire flow of hormones, blood, and energy gets obstructed. This is where a seemingly simple ingredient, baking soda, steps in with a special role. When used in proper doses, baking soda can help lower acid levels in the blood and urine, easing the filtration burden on the kidneys, allowing them to function better without being overloaded. At the same time, the mildly alkaline environment supported by baking soda helps the liver increase bile production and eliminate aged hormones, waste compounds, and inflammatory molecules that have built up over time. Mr. Kevin followed the guidance, drinking diluted baking soda water on alternate mornings, combined with a slice of lemon to support the liver. 3 weeks later, he returned and laughed heartily. I don't know if I've lost any weight, but I sure feel a whole lot lighter. Everything feels like it's finally flowing again. That sense of flow wasn't just physical. It laid the foundation for a full restoration of the body's sexual system, from hormones to blood vessels and emotional connection. However, there's another silent saboteur that's been interfering with every recovery effort: belly fat and chronic sugar cravings. The troubling part is, these are destroying your testosterone and blood vessels daily without you even realizing it. In the next part, I'll reveal the link between waistline size, male hormones, and uncontrollable cravings, and share how baking soda can help you control visceral fat and reclaim authority over your body in a simple and sustainable way. Benefit 8 reduces sugar cravings and visceral fat, unlocking the rebirth of male hormones. Many men after the age of 60 are surprised that their belly keeps growing even though they're on a diet and maintain light exercise regularly. But what confuses them even more are the sudden food cravings, especially in the late afternoon, often directed toward sweets or starches. I once heard Daniel, 66 years old, a former fitness coach, joke honestly as he patted his belly. "This belly doesn't just make me look bad, it's destroying my performance." In reality, the visceral fat accumulating in the abdominal area isn't just a matter of appearance. It acts like an involuntary endocrine gland, producing aromatase, an enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. The larger the waistline, the more silently male hormones are being drained without the person even knowing. A very common indirect cause of this condition is blood sugar fluctuations. Every time blood sugar drops suddenly, the body reacts by triggering rapid hunger, driving us toward sugary or starchy foods, and the more we eat, the more fat we store. Here, baking soda plays a very subtle role. When used properly, it helps regulate blood pH toward a mild alkalinity, which in turn supports stable blood sugar levels and increases insulin sensitivity. As a result, cravings gradually diminish, belly fat burning is reactivated, and endogenous hormones are protected from the theft of metabolic enzymes. Daniel tried a small change. Every morning he drank a glass of warm water mixed with baking soda and a few drops of lemon juice, ate breakfast on time, and kept up his walking routine. 1 month later, not only was his belly slimmer, but he also said something that made me smile. For the first time in years, I feel like I'm the one in charge, not my belly. Regaining control over cravings and melting visceral fat not only helps balance hormones, but also restores confidence and masculine resilience in a solid way. However, even if hormones are balanced and blood vessels are open, if the nervous system is still tense and out of sync, the physical and emotional connection in a couple's life can still be fractured. And that's exactly why the next benefit, though rarely mentioned, plays a central role in the journey to reclaiming vitality after 60. Benefit 9. Soothes the nervous system, rekindles natural reflexes during intimacy. One thing rarely discussed in senior male sexual issues is the role of the central nervous system. Even if blood is flowing well and hormones are abundant, if the nervous system doesn't respond at the right time or worse, is inhibited by stress, then all efforts become dimmed. Mr. Matthew, 70 years old, a former military man, was a clear example. During our first consultation, he shared very sincerely, "I love her, but every time we get close, I just freeze up. It's like my body won't cooperate." After a thorough check, I saw that he had no obvious problems with testosterone or blood vessels. The issue was that his nervous system was stuck in a high-alert state, meaning the sympathetic nervous system was overactive, while the parasympathetic system, which governs relaxation and sexual reflexes, was being suppressed. This is a common condition in older men. Chronic stress, poor sleep, and low-grade inflammation cause the entire nervous system to become hyperreactive. And the important point is that baking soda, by adjusting pH levels and reducing inflammatory signals, can help rebalance this nervous system. Some studies show that when blood bicarbonate is regulated properly, alarm signals from the kidneys and internal organs to the brain decrease, allowing the body to return to a resting state, an ideal condition for natural connection during intimacy. Matthew followed a simple plan, taking baking soda 3 times a week combined with the 4-7-8 breathing exercise at night. About 5 weeks later, he returned and said something I'll never forget. "You know, doctor, for the first time in years, I'm no longer afraid of that moment. I just enjoy it." When the nervous system is calmed, the body begins to function according to its true biological nature. No more forcing, no more interruption, just a natural flow between emotion and physical response. However, to ensure that the benefits of baking soda don't remain isolated in separate parts, but instead combine into a complete synergistic protocol, you need a smart preparation method, simple, easy to apply, but incredibly effective. In the final part of this video, I'll reveal the optimal recipe combining baking soda with 2 extremely easy-to-find natural ingredients, helping cleanse the liver and bile, support digestion, boost absorption, and amplify all the benefits we've uncovered throughout this journey. Benefit 10. Combine with lemon or apple cider vinegar. Enhance absorption safely and naturally. After exploring the series of benefits of baking soda, from blood circulation and enhancing neural response to improving hormonal balance, you might be wondering, is there a gentle, low-cost, and easy way to optimize these effects? The answer comes from a simple yet effective combination: baking soda paired with fresh lemon juice or raw apple cider vinegar. Both of these ingredients, lemon and apple cider vinegar, are rich in organic acids and antioxidants that support digestion, improve insulin sensitivity, and promote liver function. But when mixed with baking soda, they create a mild biological reaction that helps balance the digestive system without putting pressure on the stomach or nervous system. I once guided Mr. Robert, 74 years old, who had lived alone for many years after his wife passed, through this small morning ritual. Mix 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda with warm water and fresh lemon juice and drink it on an empty stomach. At first, he was skeptical, but just a few weeks later, he returned to the clinic with a brighter face and shared, "I feel more alert, lighter, and the amazing thing is, my personal life is starting to come back to life." The light fizzing reaction between baking soda and natural acids not only helps clear the digestive tract, but also stimulates bile secretion, supports liver detox, and soothes the autonomic nervous system, thereby indirectly enhancing the absorption and metabolism of all nutrients essential for male health. It's not a miracle drug. This combination acts more like a gentle biological switch, helping your body reset its rhythm and restore what had once been thrown out of balance over time. My dear friend, if you've followed along until this point, I truly appreciate it. Because that means not only are you paying attention to your health, but you also carry within you a proactive spirit, a desire to live healthier and deeper during this golden stage of life. Together, we've explored 10 incredible benefits of baking soda for men over 60, from supporting blood flow, restoring nitric oxide, calming the nervous system, improving hormone sensitivity to helping the liver and kidneys, reducing belly fat, and managing emotional balance during intimacy. And finally, you've learned a smart and natural way to use it, combining baking soda with lemon water or apple cider vinegar as a gateway to comprehensive internal absorption and regulation. However, please remember this most important thing. Baking soda is not a cure-all. To achieve the best results, you must use the right dose at the right time and listen to your body's responses. Don't forget to pair it with a healthy diet, regular exercise, and a calm mind, because true health is the harmony of many factors, not the result of one single ingredient. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so we can continue accompanying you in upcoming videos with more relatable, science-based, and practical knowledge. Wishing you continued strength, health, and unwavering confidence at any age. See you again in our next sharing.